the one, the only Benzion. Good morning and welcome to Yeshiva YouTube. Iyun with Benzion. Today's daf is Benzion Sotah, daf Mem Aleph. The Mishnah Mem Aleph talks about Hakel, and it talks about a story which happened with Agrippas HaMelech. That Agrippas HaMelech, he read Hakel. He was the king of Klal Yisrael in the Ezras Nashon in the Beis HaMikdash, and when he got to the pasuk Lo Suchal Silecha Ish Nachri, part of Hakel, as you read from Sefer Dvarim, the parsha, it talks about a king, the mitzvah of appointing a king. It says in the parsha you shouldn't have a non-Jewish king. So Zal Goein Demos, he started crying because he realized he wasn't Jewish. Amru Lo, so the Rabbanim said to him, they were afraid of him. Al Tizgari Agrippas, don't be afraid. Achenu ata, you're our brother. And Rashi says, Achenu ata, she'imo Yisrael. He was actually Jewish. He in fact was Jewish. His mother was from Jewish descent. So therefore, they were telling him the truth, according to the article at least. And he really was Jewish. You don't need to be worried about, right? You are Jewish. Now, Art Scroll has a long discussion over here who this Agrippas was. There were two Agrippas. There was someone who descended from Herod. Herod was the king who rebuilt the Beis HaMikdash, the second Beis HaMikdash. The Kosel Maravi that we have are basically stones that were from King Herod when he remade the Beis HaMikdash, second Beis HaMikdash. It didn't look as beautiful. He made it really beautiful, like the Gemara discussed at the beginning of Baba Basra. He wasn't Jewish, Herod. His son was Aristobulus. And his grandson, the son of Aristobulus, was Agrippa number 1. And Agrippa number 1 lived about 25 years before the destruction of the second Beis HaMikdash. That's Agrippa 1. Now, article says he wasn't Jewish because who did Herod's son Aristobulus marry? He married his first cousin, which was the sister of Herod's daughter, Berenice, which was Herod's niece. Berenice is her name. And she presumably, but Herod wasn't Jewish, so his sister's not going to be Jewish either. And his sister's the mother of Berenice, so Berenice wasn't Jewish. Berenice and Aristobulus, their son Agrippa was not Jewish. How could Rashi say Imo Yisrael? Furthermore, our scroll says, if you look in Rashi, Agrippas HaMelech, Rashi says, Melech Yisrael hayam mizera shel hordos, v'hu shenechra beis hamikdash biyama. He was the one. Now, the simple explanation, shenechra beis hamikdash biyama, means during his life, the Beis HaMikdash was destroyed. Our scroll says, no. A king, number 34, article, foot number 34 and 41a, a king of the Jews who descended from Herod and whose days the temple was destroyed. And they say there are two Herodian kings named Agrippa. Agrippa 1, who died some 25 years before the destruction of the temple, and his son Agrippa 2, who died many years after the destruction of the temple. Rashi seems to assume the Mishnah's reference is Agrippa 2. And he says, look at footnote number 38, right? And he says what I said before, that Agrippa number wasn't Jewish. How could Rashi see Israel? And the way our school understood Shenechra of Biyam, they understood that it was the second Agrippa 2, where the Beis HaMikdash was destroyed, was already destroyed. Because that's what Rashi says, Shenechra of Biyam. Even though some explanation Shenechra of Biyam means it was destroyed while he was living. Not that he would live when it was already destroyed. So, what do you do as Rashi? The She'imam Yisrael. He wasn't Jewish. The answer, obvious answer, is the Gemara Mem Aleph Beis. The Mem Aleph Beis says, right, that when they told him Achenu ata, and Rashi says Imo Yisrael, the Gemara is very clear. Tana B'Shmei in the beginning, the middle of Mem Aleph Beis. Tana B'Shmei the Rav Nassan Moshe Shan is Chayvus on Israel Klaya. She'achniflo le'Agrippas. They patronized him. They were telling him what he wanted to hear. They told him you're Jewish. He wasn't Jewish. Of course he wasn't Jewish, right? That makes sense. They told him, like Rashi says, Imo Yisrael, you're Jewish. Your mother's from Yisrael or whatever, you're descended from a mother from Yisrael. He doesn't know, he wasn't Jewish, he didn't know how it means to be Jewish. You know, one of your mother from Yisrael. They told him, I don't know if they told him why he was Jewish, right? This was what they were thinking, but they lied to him. That's the whole point of the Gemara. They lied to him. He wasn't Imo Yisrael, he wasn't Jewish. And that's why, right, they were punished for lying or patronizing him. That's what they were doing. The Gemara says they were lying. They weren't telling him the truth. So the articles prove it had to be the second Agrippa whose mother actually was Jewish. No, this guy, he wasn't Jewish. Otherwise, it wouldn't be Hachnaf, it wouldn't be Chinuch. They'd be telling him the truth. So it's obvious, and obviously, you don't do Hakel after the Beis Hamikdash is destroyed. No one's doing Hakel nowadays. You can only do Hakel when the Beis Hamikdash is still around. So it had to be Agrippa number one, where Hakel was done before the Beis Hamikdash was destroyed. And the fact that they told him, Achenu ata, you're a brother, Imam Yisrael, right? Even though technically, according to the history, maybe his mother wasn't from Klal Yisrael, because they were lying to him. That's all they were doing. They were lying to him. They told him you're Jewish. They didn't tell him why. He doesn't know all the halachas of what makes you Jewish. They said you're a brother. Maybe you're descended from someone who was Jewish. Maybe somewhere going back many generations there was a Jewish woman in the family, and that's Sheimo doesn't mean maybe Rashi doesn't mean his actual mother. It means a couple generations back your mother was from Klal Yisrael, so somehow you're Jewish. He had no idea. Non-Jews don't know what it takes to make someone halachically Jewish. So that's really what happened, I believe. It's definitely Agrippa number one, definitely not Agrippa's number two. And Agrippa's, the street here in Israel, is probably named after Agrippa number one, because the other one, even though he might have been, we don't even know Agrippa number two was Jewish, right? It was another king, Agrippa number two, who also, right, he wasn't a Roman king. He came from a nation that was outside of Klal Yisrael, like present-day Jordan. That's where he was. They described him from Adumi, from Edom. That's where he was. He was from Edom. If you look on Wikipedia, it says King Herod was from Edom, which is outside of Eretz Israel, a nation at that time. By Sheni, was the second Agrippa Jewish? I don't know, but the more famous Agrippa is this one. So that's why I assume the street in Israel is named after. Hope you enjoyed today's share. See you in the next one.